welcome back to Jon and Jani's on-air Shenanigans. Today we have a special guest with us. Please introduce yourself for those who don't know.
Hi, I'm Alexa Charney, and I have a disability, and yeah.
She threw a peace sign, and I love that.
Peace. Oh, wait, that's not a peace sign. That's the British middle finger.
I know. I saw that, and I'm like, oh, Jon.
That's my go-to when I'm nervous. I'm just like, peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I'm accidentally swearing in every format of this show.
Oh, my God.
Oh, boy. Hello.
Hello.
Maybe I should have shut that door. Anna, please shut the door.
Okay, great.
All right, Alexa, tell us about yourself, though.
I'm a Southern transfer student. I transferred here last semester. I am also the vice president for the Outreach Unlimited Club, which is a disability awareness and advocacy club here on campus.
Awesome sauce.
And yeah, I'm one of many talents too.
And that's how we met, actually. We met through Outreach because I wasn't taking as many classes this semester. Well, I'll join something. I'll join Outreach. I know some people in there. And then I was talking to Lex, and I was like, oh, maybe I should have you on my show. We should do a disability-related episode. I mean, this is like the first time, I'm going to say it since this is the recorded segment, this is the first time I'm talking about my disability, like, openly on YouTube. So I haven't really done something like this before. I thought it would be something new to try.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be able to talk about this and share my experience and hear and learn more about what you do.
All right, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of our experiences with disabilities because everyone is different in that regard. I know a lot of people go through different struggles, go through different challenges, and also experience disability in different kinds of ways. So why don't you talk a little bit about how some of the challenges you faced?
Well, just to explain my disability a little bit for those who don't know, I have cerebral palsy, which is a disability caused by the lack of oxygen to the brain at, during, or before birth. And it really affects the developmental process. So physically, it affects my right side of my body. So I wear braces on my legs, and then I have about 15 to 20% function in my right hand. So it makes that challenging as far as doing stuff like zippering a coat, opening a water bottle, just little things that take fine motor skills and really, I guess, you would take for granted. And then it affects me mentally through, I have ADHD, I have I have epilepsy, and I suffer a little bit with anxiety. And yeah, that's a lot of what my disability is. The ways that it challenges me, like I said before, just doing simple tasks like opening a water bottle, tying shoes, zipping a coat, little stuff like that is difficult. And then the way that it mentally challenges me is that ADHD is short for
Attention deficit disorder.
Thank you. Attention deficit hyper disorder. Yeah. I could not think of that. And so because of that, I am very unfocused a lot of the time. I get very hyper, so if I'm in like a crowded place, I'm all over the place.
Mood.
Word.
That's me too.
So, yeah, and then just like, obviously with the anxiety, it's just like being nervous in new situations and new places a lot of the time. So.
Right. So for everybody tuning in right now, all three of us on air each have disabilities. So yes. When Jon and I say mood to something that Alexa says, we're not trying to undermine her experience. We're not trying to do that. We're just saying that we also struggle with similar disabilities in a lot of ways.
Because for me, I get really hyper really easy. Mm-hmm. Like, I cannot have caffeine.
Oh, me neither. Me neither. And that's what I was saying earlier. I literally walked into the studio, and I'm not trying to make this about myself. I apologize. Oh, okay, thanks.
First off, what disability do you have? So just so they can get a little bit of context.
Okay, sure. So I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and I'm also suspected, and I said this earlier, I'm also suspected to have ADHD like Alexa. And I actually got tested for it last week, and we are awaiting the test results, but I am really convinced that I have it. So like Alexa, I get very hyperactive occasionally, and I also have trouble focusing a lot. And so if, like Jon and probably like Alexa, if I were to have caffeine, which I did before I came into the studio, I physically will start shaking, and it really just affects my focusing a lot, and it in a way where it's hard for me to focus, So, and I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but caffeine really is a stimulant, and it overstimulates, I would assume, all three of us.
Yeah,
so.
When I consume too much caffeine, it's not that much I have trouble focusing. It's more that I am off the damn wall. Because one time I had a Red Bull. Oh boy. I had like a sip of Red Bull and I was like,
no, we get it.
It was
Jon,
like I was on crack.
Right. And I hope the listeners out there understand too.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, when we say like unfocused, because I know one of the misconceptions is like, oh, kids with disabilities are so unfocused, or with ADHD are so unfocused, or autistic kids are so unfocused. It's not that we're unfocused. It's just we're focused on something that we find interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, I kind of get like that. Mm-hmm. Especially because with my hyperfixations, I get like, ooh, dinosaur.
Yeah, so I may not be interested in schoolwork at the time, but I'm really interested in whatever YouTube video I'm watching or whatever show that is on. It's not that I'm unfocused, I'm just focused on something else.
That's why online classes were a pain in the butt for me, because I was trying to focus on the work, but then there was the internet that's distracting me. My grades were not good last semester.
I couldn't have said either of those points better myself. There's a saying out there that it's not that we're not there, it's that we're too much there, if that makes sense. We're too overstimulated too easily, I mean, at least that's my experience. I assume, Alexa, that's your experience, and Jon, too. Like, hearing what you guys have to say about it, that's really what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's about it. Sorry, I was adjusting my camera.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Anyways, I do want to also touch on the social aspect of disability. So, how has it affected you guys' social lives? Let's all go around and discuss that.
Okay, Alexa, why don't you go first, considering you're the guest?
Alrighty.
Yes. Guests first.
Yes.
Alrighty. Like I was telling Jon a couple of days ago, it affects me in a way that I don't have a hard time making friends, but definitely my friends kind of have to adjust to my pace. Like if we're out at the mall or something, we'll have to walk at my pace, or and then also I would have to ask them to do the silly things, like, hey, can you zip in my coat, or open my water bottle, just something extra that a normal friendship wouldn't have to do. And then there are the people that you can meet in your life, and I don't know if you guys have experienced this too, where they'll think you're too much, or they're
or
you're taking too much space, or you're just over the top. And those people, I'm just like, I don't need you in my life, and just I let it be. I really don't let that sorry, I'm trying to say this without swearing.
You're fine.
It's just I don't need them in my life, so I'll just move on and really focus on the friends that I do have.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I have trouble, sometimes I feel like I'm too much for people too, and there's a very select few people who actually get me and understand me and are able to put up with me. And yeah, sometimes it can be really hard to make friends. Unfortunately, I do have a really good friend group, a lot of whom are listening now. Hi, guys.
I thought you said, unfortunately, I have a lot of friends.
Did I say unfortunately?
That's what it sounded like. I was
in the rewatch, let's see if I said it. Fortunately, I do have a lot of good friends, though.
That's really good to hear that.
Yeah, sometimes I mix up words. That's another part of my disability. Sometimes I just make it a running joke. I just put in text what I was supposed to say.
Oh, I love that.
Over it.
Well,
autism. I call it autism moments.
I feel that. No, I was gonna say it's really great to hear that both of you, have a really great friend group, because I mean, like you guys, sometimes I really can be over the top, And if I'm not over the top, then I'm over the top in my head. Like, I'm not saying much, but there's so much going inside my head. Going on inside my head, if that makes any sense. So I'm not really saying anything, and I'm just sitting there. But really, there's like so much that I'm thinking about. So yes, it can be hard to make friends. I would say I'm like stumbling over my words because I've never been asked anything like this before. Never really had to talk about this before. Though I think it's really important to talk about, because it's a really important subject to really understand. I would say that I don't necessarily have trouble making friends. I'm going to correct what I said earlier. I don't necessarily have trouble making friends. I have trouble keeping friends.
Really?
If that makes sense. So I'll clarify this. I have a lot of acquaintances and I have a lot of people that I can hang out with. I don't have a lot of close friends. I do have a couple. I have a small inner group, but maybe that's just normal. Yeah. I really don't know, because we understand the world through our perspective, so it's like, I don't know if this is normal. It's normal for me.
Another thing with autism, you mentioned not being able to see other perspectives. Well, that's another thing with autism, because it's sometimes very, very hard for me to acknowledge and understand other people's perspectives.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, that, I said this earlier, and I don't know if people are tuning in now, didn't hear the earlier part. I know a little bit about autism, and that, like Jon said, he has it, he knows it probably better than I do, but that is definitely,
I love it. Do I love it? Maybe. That's debatable.
That's another topic.
That's a whole nother conversation that we are not getting into today on WSIN 1590 AM radio, Jon and Jani's on-air shenanigans. Now, another thing about the social aspect, have people ever treated you as lesser because of your disability? I know it's happened to me, and I'll get a little into it. Like, sometimes, I'm not going to say where, because some of these places people should have known better. Not even treating me, but treating the other people around me like hi, oh, hi.
Oh.
Like they're a child. I was all right, I'll tell one story because it doesn't involve, I was in Best Buddies. And I was paired up with somebody named Andrew, and Andrew had a disability. And we were at Walmart shopping, and some lady some Karen, I'm gonna call her,
oh my God,
went up to him, and he had a New York Yankees blanket.
Mood.
He's like,
sorry.
hi, I like the Yankees too. And internally, I was like, please go away, you stupid Karen.
Oh my God.
And it's so dehumanizing because he was just as smart, if not smarter than I am. And it's just ridiculous to see a grown-ass adult treat it like that. Is that one of the words? Nope. We're good.
I have to say, I swear, okay, this is bad to say, but I swear and I hear swears so often that when he said that, I didn't even think of anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, oh, that's just a word. I didn't even look to the words.
All right, back to the topic. Alexa, have you experienced that before?
I fortunately have not experienced it in that way. I have unfortunately been bullied because of my disability, and just like I've been called things I probably can't even say on air.
Yeah, probably the word that this month is dedicated to, not to getting rid of.
Yeah,
you told me that.
So
I'm not guessing. She told me this.
Okay.
Yeah, I did, and it just kind of sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Am I allowed to say not?
Yeah, you can say sucks.
Oh my gosh, she's so innocent.
All right, now let me read the entire list.
We're gonna read the entire list on
out
air.
Loud on air on WSIN 1590 AM
oh my
radio.
God, you're cracking me up, Alexa.
Gary, can we say sucks? Are you in there? No, I don't see him.
Okay.
Oh my God, he's looking up. He's like, hello?
I don't know.
He's coming over.
No, we're good.
Please don't come over. You're gonna stop
We're in the show. We're in
the show. Please don't come over.
Don't come in.
Oh my God. This is hilarious.
Gary's gonna kick us out of the office because we're being Jack Blanks.
Oh my God.
Hey guys, I told you last week that this show is gonna be chaotic.
Oh, no, you told me this.
We are always chaotic here.
You should have seen last week with Will.
Oh my God, it was crazy.
Okay, I'm sorry. We were talking about something serious. Let's reel that back in.
We need to be serious.
Okay.
We need to get back on topic.
When I am like in uncomfortable situations, I make jokes. So this is why I'm making so many jokes, and I apologize if it's like seeming insensitive. It's just like, again, part of my disability. Anyways, continue.
Continue, Alexa.
Yeah, been I've been bullied for it. I have been, like, also, I can talk about one time where I've been called fake on my disability.
Oh
There-
God, what's that mean? Like, why were they calling you fake on your disability?
To explain it, I have to explain the story. I was once in Disney World, #love Disney World, and
Yeah, facts. Go ahead.
and
We're getting off topic.
Oh my
I
god.
think we were in line for a caricature, and every time we go, I usually get a wheelchair because it's hard to walk around Disney World. It's a lot of places.
Oh yeah.
So we were in line, and we were almost to the front. So I got out of the wheelchair so my parents could move it. And the guy standing behind me was like, "Does she really need that?"
You don't say that.
Yeah, you don't say that.
You just don't, because he was like, "Do you really need that?" And my mom's like, "Yeah, she has a disability. She has CP." And he's like, "Oh, well, there are people like faking it and stuff, so I just want to like make sure." So
It's not. Well, first of all, it's not even his business to make sure. Like, who the hell is he?
Is he the cerebral palsy police?
Please? Yeah. What?
I honestly do not know, but it was like
Stupid.
So stupid.
it was really stupid. And
That gives me another thing. My disability is not really as visually obvious as some disabilities. I don't mean this in like a demeaning kind of way. I'm like,
Right.
and as a result, some people may question, do I have a disability or not? And I've never experienced it, but like I know people who have.
Mm-hmm.
And just because somebody doesn't look like they have a disability doesn't mean you should assume that they don't have a disability.
Oh, that's a really, really important point to bring up. And before I go into my story, I just want to say, Alexa, that behavior from others is absolutely disgusting
And inappropriate.
And very inappropriate. And I hope that you never have to deal with that again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like having these conversations on air and publishing these stories really is what's going to help stop it, because it's just like it's disgusting, and educating people on that is what's going to make it stop. Now, I mean, Jon, is there anything you wanted to say before I go into my story, or?
No.
Okay.
No, nothing at all.
Just wanted to make sure I wasn't cutting anybody off.
Go ahead.
Okay. Basically, I didn't really know until like I was 18 or 19 that there is a really good chance that I do have ADHD. Really, all the symptoms were there for a very, very long time in my life, but nobody in my life, and like, I'm not trying to demean anybody, if that's the correct word to use. I'm not trying to undermine anybody, but nobody in my life really was educated enough on mental disabilities to be able to spot those symptoms, to be able to recognize those symptoms and be like, oh, it looks like she has a legitimate disability. Like, there are resources for her. We can get her diagnosed and be able, like, give her the ability to have these resources and to use these resources in order to help her. And I remember like instances as recent as high school. Now I'm 19 years old,
Yeah, so that was like a year ago, right?
Exactly. It was like a year ago. And I just want to put that out there because most of the people that I talk to in the studio are a couple years older than me, So I just wanted to put that out there. It was fairly recent. I remember instances where I was like traveling with people that were not in my family. I was traveling, and I don't want to say suffering, but symptoms of mine of ADHD or OCD were showing up, and it made me struggle. It made me struggle to, just be able to be relaxed or calm or really just function. I don't want to say correctly, but do you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Okay, cool. Just really be able to function in a way where I was happiest and where I was most productive. And there were grown adults. There were grown adults that were giving me hell about it.
Oh, boy.
Grown adults giving me hell, not being educated enough to see she has a legitimate disability. She has a disability, and that is why she cannot function, like, in the most productive way.
Yeah. Sometimes adults just need to realize that. And, like, not even adults, but, like, people in general. Sometimes I don't function the way society would expect me to function because of my disability. I feel like people not lack empathy, but just don't understand sometimes.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say. The problem isn't that you're not behaving the way society, and I'm doing the air quotes, expects you to behave. That's not the issue. That's not the real issue. The real issue is that people can't understand that. They can't understand why that's the case, you know, and they can't really act in a way that would be beneficial to you, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.